I feel warmer. Ooh. Mic is messed up. Is it crackly? 1 second. How's that? Should be a little better, right? Should be mixed better at the very least. Is this a clue? No. My contacts are fucked. I have to go tomorrow to get them more. But anyways, hi everyone. How are you all doing? You wear contacts? Yeah. For like 9 years now. You look like the sad emotion from Inside Out. I feel like I look like the anxiety emotion from Inside Out too. All the time. You look good in glasses. Oh my god. Imagine if I wore glasses instead of contacts in the house. I would have been gone week 2.
Showmance would have started week 1.
I'm a bit stumped on the costumes. I have ideas, but I'm not confident on any. Well, let him rip. Let's see what you got. I didn't know you wore contacts. Yeah, no, the Wurtenbergers do not have great vision. It's true. I've always been a little bit self-conscious about wearing glasses, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What were the clues? What clues have you released?
I need another one today. But it was, movie franchise, and then movie franchise associated with Halloween.
Can I give a clue? We're going to wear these costumes for 5 nights.
What? That doesn't make sense.
Think about that one.
No, they're going to be guessing like Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's the joke, but...
Oh.
We're not doing Five Nights at Freddy's. Even though America does have a toy Chica costume, but that is just for the bedroom. That one will not see the sight of day. I'm sorry, it's not for you guys. Don't be parasocial about it. Chica America would be peak. Ban them. I don't like it. Nope. I get to say it, not you. Anyways, how are you guys? Welcome. Welcome. In a respectful way. Okay. Unban them. You don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is? Get with the Lord. Jesus Christ.
That's fine. I didn't know either.
At this rate, none of you are going to get cast on Survivor. Y'all are not Gen Z, Gen Alpha out enough.
Literally, fuck off.
Brianna, you are a Coors whore. I forgot that was a message I had. Welcome, Brianna. Welcome back. 23 months. Oh my god, we're almost at the 2-year anniversary. This is adorable. Martins for the 23. Liz for the 22. Jane for the 21. Chiara for the 23. Rune Queen for the 23. Cowboy for the 5 months. And then Jim Pierre for the 22. Hi, everyone. Hello. Okay. So, 2 stream ideas today. We're only going to do one of them. The next one is going to be prepping for next stream. See Beth, thank you for the 23 months. I appreciate it. So, first off, we're going to do hot takes. We've done this before. It's been probably like a fucking year since we've done it. But I want your Big Brother hot takes. If you want to throw in Survivor ones, you can. But I feel like we all watch Big Brother. We all know Big Brother. People care about it more. But, you know, if you got some crazy Survivor shit, you could throw it in there. So I'm going to post that in the chat in about 2 minutes. So get them thinking. If you're trying to troll in them, I'm looking at them before showing them on screen. So you're just kind of wasting my time. But I guess that's the purpose. So go for it. And then next stream, I have a crazy idea. Maybe we'll stream on Halloween. I'm not sure exactly what our plans are going to be. But the next normal stream we do is going to be a very fun concept. There's a website that I will post in the chat. It is called PokeCardMaker.net. Here it is, okay? Now, for this stream, it's going to be relying on viewer participation. Now, what does viewer participation mean? I don't have to explain it. Each word has an individual meaning. You put them together, they make a new meaning. It's like a phrase. Okay. Now, what is that participation going to look like? Well, I'll show you what I've done. So, you are going to create Big Brother Pokemon cards based on former house guests, probably. You want to get creative and throw a Julie Chen card. I'm not going to hate. And good model. So, for example, I created Cory. Why is Factor here? Get the fuck out of here. We're not sponsored by Factor, right? Get the fuck out of here. Cory. So you write it in the way a card is written. So I've got 2 moves. I got Flip the House and Smirk. Flip the House flips the board for exactly 2 turns until the board is flipped back. Smirk weakens enemies' attacks for 15 minutes. Cute idea, right? I made one more as an example. Not this one. This is just a picture of America that did not fit the formatting. It is this one. Here's America. She's got her womanly wiles. All male players are immobilized for 2 to 3 turns and literally fuck off, which, of course, deals 1.5x damage to house guests who have already been evicted. She can't be knocked out for the first 13 hours of play as well. That's what the Pressure Chef ability grants you. So I think you guys get the gist of how this works.
I like the 956.
Yeah, it's 956 HP. So for next stream, I want you to prep these. It's very simple. These took me legit 3 to 5 minutes each. As long as you can think of things, the technical side of it's super easy. The website does basically all of it for you. So get those ready. You can do Big Brother Canada if you want. Keep it contained to Big Brother. I think Survivor opens the scope a little bit too much. Can you show your card again? Sure, one sec. There we go. Here's mine. I don't think I'm the gas type. I believe I'm a psychic type. Mimi could have a move called Big Salad, for example. I would like us to maybe think bit bigger than Big Salad, but perhaps. This for next stream, yes. So you have time to prep. Try not to create like 15 of them. You know, we want everyone to have a few. If you just got one, that's more than enough. So that is the homework, yes. Assigned. My work Wi-Fi is saying that website is going to steal my data. What are you doing with the data? The way I see it is I'm not going to do anything meaningful or substantive with my data, so I might as well give it to someone who will. That's just called sharing the wealth. Paying it forward, I hear. Do we actually have to make them, or can we just come up with ideas? Just to be very clear, you don't have to do anything. Like, look, it might be frowned upon if you skip the next stream, but, like, it's totally an option available to you. Everyone gets 3 excused absences from stream. And I'll tell you what, Bree has used all of them. But, you know, for the rest of you, just make sure that you send an email and everything will be fine.
Breaking news, babe.
What's that?
Dictionary.com has named 6'7" as its 2025 word of the year.
Do you guys get 6'7"? Do you guys understand the joke? I think I'm still in the era where I'm pretty on top of all the jokes. I don't think there's that much Gen Alpha stuff that goes over my head. I still don't even know what 6'7" is yet. It shows. It doesn't even mean anything. You guys are so old in chat. Can we get the young kids out? I don't like how I said that. I don't like how I said that. All right. Sending the hot takes link in the chat. Get your hot takes in. Let's do it. Let us do it. Thank you, Katie. Or Mike. Probably Katie. It literally means nothing substantive. You said, actually, 6'7" doesn't mean anything. Probably. Thanks, Mike. We both clicked at the exact same time. Damn, y'all are splitting the credit. It's very powerful. I like showings of unity amongst my mods. Have y'all been checking out some of these other Big Brother players' streams? Have any of you watched Keanu game? Watched Morgan? I did game with Keanu. That was a good time. He's a bro. He games. Dictionary.com doesn't even have a definition for 6'7". I was like, what the fuck would they even define it as? And I checked and it said no results found for 6'7". America, you've been fact checked.
What did they say?
They said 6'7" is not in the dictionary.
I get my news from Pop Crave. What do they want?
America fell for Poo Crave again.
It's Pop.
She fell for Poo Crave. No! America's a victim of misinformation. Keanu and his girlfriend played Chain together, and it was funny to watch. That's cute. I like when you gamed with Quinn. That was chill. Damn. Some of y'all watch Quinn. Where's the loyalty? That's crazy. The way Cory reads my messages with such an angry tone. You always just... Why do you make me yell at you, Amanda? Quinn hates Valorant. I can guarantee that Valorant hates Quinn more. I am a mod for Quinn. Okay, you're not about to be a chatter for Cory. Did you watch Traders Canada? No, I did not. I am spoiled, though, so I'm not really super interested. That's why I'm trying really hard not to get spoiled for 50. And currently I'm not spoiled. Quinn is so much nicer to us. Yeah, but you guys like being negged. I'm kind of the bad boy of Twitch, if you think about it.
Of BB Twitch?
I'm the bad boy of BB Twitch. I think Keanu might be stepping on that turf. Actually, no. You know who's the bad boy of BB Twitch? It's Bruno.
Bruno?
Yeah, you know Bruno.
I know he streams. Oh, you mentioned
He streams all the time. Right after the 23-month sub. Hey. Close but no cigar in your 2 years, Brianna. Is America spoiled for 50? I think she's been trying to get spoiled and failing.
I don't know where to go. I've been trying so hard.
She gave me like 2 separate spoilers that directly contradict each other. And I'm like, huh. I guess I'm not spoiled. Why the glasses? I ran out of contacts. 50 spoilers are out there. Don't tell America.
I'm trying.
How did you get spoiled for traders? I'll give you 10 guesses. Contacts that don't exist. How fucking dare you, Katie? I'm insecure wearing my glasses. Just support me. I feel like I don't have any hot takes. Oh, not a sensible person in chat. But everyone, if you're just showing up, we're doing Big Brother hot takes. The link is in chat. We're 27 responses. I bet 15 of them are bullshit. So we got to get those numbers up. It's nothing like that, Brianna. Also, I don't watch Traders, and I don't know where I'd watch Traders Canada.
That's what I said.
It's just a lot of effort. I don't know. It's a lot of effort. I do know who the traders are. It's very exciting. You wear contacts? Yes. Since I was No. It was 8th or 9th grade. Gotta get RHAP links from Sam. Sam! I have a link, dummy. You come into my chat, Mom, and call me a dummy? Mods. Puya's Discord. Well, that would require subbing to Puya, which would mean allocating your money towards separate streamers instead of funneling it all into me. That seems problematic. My dad worked with BB Can Bruno. Is your dad Kevin Martin? Because that would make sense. Also, to our Big Brother Canada rewatch people, we're watching the double eviction. I believe it is week 6, week 5, whatever it is, today. And that'll be released today. So I'm sure people are excited about that. I think we're going to post that one public. So that one will post for everybody. It'll still be on the Patreon, but it'll just be a public post to try to get more people to sign up. And obviously, I know it's a pretty fun episode, it being a double. So
No spoilers, no spoilers.
no spoilers, but doubles are fun. So we'll do that, and we'll be posting it. So bear with us. Can't wait for the next Luigi's Mansion play. Yeah, we're going to have to get that done. Okay, We have almost 40 responses. Are you guys ready for me to dive into the hot takes? I know so many of them are going to be absolute trash.
Cory.
Let's see.
You know what I feel like when I'm here?
What's that?
Do you remember like
Literally,
like Andy, or what's the co-host for Jimmy Kimmel?
I'm going to need you to stop right there. Guillermo. Anonymous, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Guillermo Likey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, some Patreon announcements coming somewhat soon, maybe. Anyways. Thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate the gifts. Far too kind. Far too generous. Actually, let me say generous. I don't want to say far too. I don't want to discourage this kind of behavior.
Literally, fuck off.
The glasses are fire. Thank you. Thank you. Anonymous loves the negging. Yeah, what you guys don't know is that's Manda. Manda just likes, you know.
Literally, fuck off.
I don't know a way to say it other than negging. But I appreciate it, Anonymous. I hope you're doing well. Hope you as a collective, you as an individual, you as an enigma are doing well.
Literally, fuck off.
America is greater than Guillermo. Look, I love America, but I mean,
No, Guillermo's funny.
Guillermo. He's the only people in the world better than America are Guillermo and that dog that does interviews on the red carpet.
Literally, fuck off.
You know what I'm talking about?
The one we met at Over the Edge?
No, I'm not talking about Coda the Fluff. I accidentally called him Coda the Fluffer once, and I'm like, oh, that's different. Coda the Fluffer is a different thing, different person.
Hopefully.
I really hope so.
Literally,
Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, that's the one. Anywho, hot takes. Let's dive into it.
Literally, fuck off.
All right. Let me scan for weirdos very quickly. Look at you guys go. I don't see anything stupid. I do see one person's hot take is that someone is hotter than me. Which, the implication of it being a hot take, I appreciate, because that means most people would think I'm more attractive than them. There's some crazy takes here. There are some crazy takes. It's my favorite hot takes are hot takes that are not hot takes because no one's ever had a take on it. Like, y'all are going to be so excited to get the Jackie take that I'm about to read from BB17. Closing submissions? Not yet. We'll keep them open. Okay. After 2 years, maybe you've sifted out the weirdos. Unlikely. They always pop up. In a couple months, Jane will be the weirdo. But for now, Jane, I appreciate you. Before your weirdo era, one of my favorite chatters. Shout outs, Jane. Oh, sorry, guys. My card popped up. NTM on Jane. Jane, you're fine now. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay, here we go. Will is greater than Dan. Creating a winning formula from nothing is more impressive than perfecting a formula created by others. The timeless Will versus Dan debate. I disagree. I think it's kind of like, is Albert Einstein more impressive than Neil deGrasse Tyson? Because obviously Neil deGrasse Tyson is like a smarter person than Einstein was, just because he has access to so much more information. But is coming up with E equals MC squared more impressive than anything that Tyson's done? Yes. But also, that's not what we're talking about, because Dr. Will did not come up with, like, equations that dictate our modern state of being. He just didn't win competitions and lied to people very effectively. I just think Dan has a much, much, much better resume. It's not really Will's fault. He played on season 2, but I think Dan on season 10 is one of the best winning games ever, and season 14 is probably the best losing game ever. Whereas Will's winning game is much worse than Dan's winning game, and Will's losing game is awesome, and I still think worse than Dan's losing game. You could argue Will's season 7 is better than Dan's season 14, but I think it's, at the worst, close. And their winning games I don't think are very comparable. I think Dan clears super hard. But, you know, I don't think it's that hot of a take. People love Will. Okay. 6-7 is greater than 7-8-9. Isn't, like, this generation 6-7, like, my generation's was 17-38.
Okay, actually, we know.
You know what I mean? Do you guys follow? I don't care for HOH room reveals. Can I tell you something? Neither do the house guests. Do you understand how fucking demoralizing it was to go into Cameron's third HOH room? Jared's second HOH room? Because it's so late at night on Thursdays, and, like, the HOH doesn't even want to do it. They want to kick you out. That's why I had the most efficient HOH room reveal of all time, because I didn't have the room. We all gathered in the living room. I read my letter. Jared and Blue went upstairs. We all hung out. It was fine. America's would be 21. Is that true?
What are you talking about?
What's 9 plus 10?
I heard about that the other day. Somebody told me about 21. I've never...
You never heard what's 9 plus 10?
I looked it up because Desiree told me about it, or Jacob told me about it, and I had to look it up. Oh, no, Victoria told me about it. And
yeah.
I was like, I've never seen them in my entire life.
I think that's more my time, to be honest.
I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I just never saw this vine ever.
I think 6-7 is after my time, 21 is my time, and 17-38 is America's time.
No, but 17-38 is like college for me, you know?
You don't think that counts? Felt so bad Jared never got a picture of his mom. Shut up.
I guess for me it's like, what's funnier than, what is it? Like 25 or 24. It's like 25. It's from SpongeBob.
Maybe 69 is your generation's thing. No one talks about 69ing anymore. Until today, we're bringing it back.
Well, Star 69 used to be huge.
Star 69 was the anonymous calls, right?
That's how you would, yeah, anonymous calls.
I'm talking about the sex number. 420 maybe too. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, HOH room reveals. Yeah, they're boring. All right. Anthony Douglas, Dougie, is by far the best to never win North American BB. Who's in contention? Vanessa. I think Dougie clears. Danielle Reyes. Dougie probably clears. Paul. I think Dougie probably is. I think Dougie's 2 games are better than Paul's 2 games because Paul's first game means very little to me. And their second game was, like, impressive, super, super impressive, but there was so much, like, advantages and a new cast and a terrible cast. Like, I think what Dougie did on Season 12 was about as impressive as what Paul did on 19, and obviously Dougie's first game was more impressive than Paul's first game. Tyler, I think Tyler has one incredible game, probably the best game of any of them, and then his second game does not stack up in any way. I'm not an expert on BB Can 7. I know the gist, so that could be my blind spot. But I think this is a reasonable take. I don't know how hot it is, but I think it's a fine take. I'm with it. Michelle Fitzgerald earned her win. I think this is a cold take at this point. I think there's more Michelle Fitzgerald stands than Aubrey stands. At the time, it was very controversial, but I think everyone's kind of come around, especially with how good she's done on other shows. Jacksonia, thank you for the 22 months. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. America is the queen. Talk about a cold take. Here we go. Jackie from BB17 was a severely underrated player, but now she's becoming overrated by the community. What threads are you on that is talking about Jackie so much? Where, like, public opinion is shifting on her. People used to think she was an under-the-radar floater, but nowadays people overrate her by saying she had an important role in a lot of strategic happenings in the BB17 house. There has been discourse about her on Reddit recently. Really? It doesn't match with the scenes. I can fix that. That should be better. Yeah, that's interesting. I can't say I have any thoughts about Jackie from BB17. I think she was fine. Kind of crazy how her and Jeff did so poorly with such an advantage. Probably the best player in her alliance, but that's not saying much. Who's in her alliance? Is this like Johnny Mac, Becky, Meg, James? Like, James placed well both times, but the most average player ever to me. Well, if you think a player's average, that means they're well above average, because most players are way below average. If you mean genuinely average, she's pretty terrible. Becky is greater than Jackie. Y'all got the scalding BB17 takes. I like it. I don't think unanimous votes are a big deal at all. I agree. Look, I think the Blockbuster's fun. I think the Blockbuster should exist for a few weeks. It's just like, I think it's an overreaction, unanimous votes. People talking about tweaking the Blockbuster. I think the Blockbuster is designed very well. I just think it has to end earlier. But yeah, unanimous votes are fine. I think the whole point is like the journey towards the unanimous vote is often very interesting. And BB25 in some ways is an anomaly. Like, it was all unanimous votes. And the reason why it was all unanimous votes was because of Suri. Because Suri is a player who locks down the fucking house. No shade. Like, that's what you're supposed to do as the dominant player. Paul did it very effectively. Derek did it very effectively. These are all seasons with a ton of unanimous votes. But when you have a dominant player and, like, all of the strategy runs through that player, unanimous votes are kind of inevitable. So, I agree. Tyler should have won BB20. Not a hot take. They should have a captain season, but all the captains have to have streamed on Twitch for a minimum of 100 hours. So who qualifies? Morgan, myself, Quinn. I don't think Keanu's there yet unless he streamed before. Bruno would qualify. McCrae, maybe. Cedric streamed that much? I know he streamed for a bit. Yeah, I think this is a dumb idea, but I'm here for it. Quinn qualifies after 1 week of streaming. That is true. Quinn grinds. I kind of don't understand the Tyler hype. I understand not understanding the Tyler hype. I think most of the Tyler hype comes from not even his personality. It was his style of play on BB20. It was that, and it was Angela. Not because Angela was such a dynamic character or anything, but people really liked Angela. If you weren't there, like, that was the showmance. I don't think people have rallied behind a showmance that much since us. You know what I mean? Like, it was me and America were very... I mean, Tubina, I just wasn't on those Twitter streets, but I feel like Tangela, I was. But Tyler on BB20 played a super dynamic, chaotic, flipping votes kind of game. Like, it wasn't Derek, it wasn't Paul. It was really fun. And then he comes back on 22, and he kind of seems like he's in it, out of it, but he's kind of doing the same thing, and then it all falls apart with the Davon and Bailey, and he kind of fizzles out. But I think Tyler, as a player, is just super fun to watch. He's not the most dynamic character, but he's just a fun player. So, I think that's the reason for the Tyler love. I don't remember Tangela being popular at all. I would guess, of all the Tangelas who stuck around, I think they have the biggest carryover to AmeriCory, would be my guess. I think most Tangelas who are still here became AmeriCorys. Tangela was big on Reddit. It's kind of what I mean. Yeah. Because Tyler was beloved. You know what I mean? Like, Tyler really was. And it was like the slowest slow burn in Big Brother history. I'm not counting Taylor and Monty. Like, they got together maybe a week or two into jury. Like, it was pretty crazy. Being liked is still the best win condition. I think winning competitions is a bigger win condition. For sure. I think winning comps is a better win condition. Just because, like, Ashley's the exception, of course. Like, Chelsea was not liked on her season by a majority of the cast. I think she wasn't disliked. She was respected. Morgan would have won. She wasn't particularly liked. Jag, I think most people thought people liked Matt more, but people respected Jag more. I just think the evidence has shown that's not really the case. It's obviously, like, I would say the most important quality to have in Big Brother, because it's not just about winning, it's also, like, not being evicted first. But in terms of actually, like, winning the show, I think being good at competitions is more valuable than being likable. Ideally, or both, but I think it depends on the jury which one's more important. I think you can much more reliably get to the end with competitions than get to the end with a good social game. Because, let's be honest, Ashley did not make it to the end on the back of her social game. She made it to the final 3 based on her social game, and then clutched up. Credit to her, you know what I mean? With a competition. So I do think comps are more important at this point in Big Brother history. Morgan would have been liked by at least 3 of the 7 jurors. She was not, like, beloved. You said Vince liked... I mean, Vince liked Morgan, obviously. Sorry, I was thinking of Ashley. Rachel, Will, they weren't, like, close to Morgan. You know what I mean? They worked with Morgan. I don't think they disliked Morgan, but there was not, like, close personal bonds being fostered there. So I disagree with this take. Angela is the best older player of the new era. So we're talking 23 and above, or 23 and beyond. So who's a better player? Angela, Felicia, Terrence, Will. I think Will is probably the best older player. I think it's Will. Pretty clearly. I don't think Angela's even in the mix. I think Angela's the worst of them. Probably the best casting. I mean, Angela was amazing. And Angela, there's a lot of players worse than Angela. It's just like, I think Angela's social game made her an unviable winner from day 4. Are we counting Suri? Yeah, I mean, Suri's the same age as Will. So Suri's the best older player. Yeah, Suri. 100%. And I think the cutoff I'm just going to make is arbitrarily 50. Morgan. Yeah, I've been ignoring those comments. Morgan's 33. Maybe 34 now. You guys are stupid. Like, if you lower the bar to, like, mid-40s, then, like, Bowie is probably up there. But I still think Suri, obviously, is better than Bowie. But I think Suri is clearly number 1. And then I think it's probably Will. Then Felicia. I don't know what to do with Terrence. Like, I don't care to rank him well. So I disagree. What's your favorite color? I don't know. I like black, purple, light pink. Those are kind of my big 3. 6, 7. All right, what else we got? Disha, top 5 flirtmans, Dan and Keisha. I wasn't there for the feeds. I know this was a thing people liked, but Dan was in a relationship. I don't think there was. I don't think there's much there. But if you like to live in Delululand, enjoy your stay. There's no problem in that. Jeff's obsession with big moves ruined subtle gameplay. Okay, I was thinking Jeff Schroeder or Jeff Weldon. We're talking about Jeff Probst. Jeff's obsession with big moves ruined subtle gameplay. I don't think so. I think there was an era in Survivor where it got a little bit cuckoo. Like, you know, basically 31, 34 with all the vote steals and the extra votes and the idols and the legacy advantage. And it got a little bit too much. But I think in general, like, Jeff trying to impose his will of big moves onto the game had less of an effect on actual gameplay than people would expect. Like, Suri played in season 12 where there was, like, basically no twists. And then she played on season 34 where there was a ton of twists. And now she's playing on 50. And she's probably going to be successful all the time. You know what I mean? Because the subtle social gameplay is still, like, at its core, a critical part of these games. I think at the time Adrian said Morgan looks great for someone her age. Such a stupid comment. I mean, Adrian's a little bit. I don't know. That's just young. It's a really young person comment. I say, being 24. Top 5 50-plus-year-old players. I think Suri's number 1. I don't think there's anyone else even in the ballpark. All right. Let's see what else we got. Cameron AFP was rigged. I mean, I think he probably won pretty comfortably. Like, I don't think they needed to rig it. I think based on the edit, he would win 20 billion times out of 20 billion. If you're saying the edit rigged it for him, I guess. But it was not rigged in any way. There's no reason why they'd want to rig it for Cameron. You know what I mean? Like, you understand, like, AFP doesn't matter to them. They just edit the show, which basically selects AFP. Whoever they think they can build the most fun, edit for, they're going to do. So, yeah, there's no riggery going on there. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about. Vince is hotter than Cory, but Cory's mustache is sexier and filled me with more unchecked carnal emotion. You could just tell me. You don't have to submit a response.
Wait, then who?
It says Vince is hotter than Cory, but Cory's mustache is sexier and filled me with more unchecked carnal emotion. I appreciate it, Mountain Doofus. Appreciate it. I think Vince is a good-looking man. I've said this before. Julie Chen needs to be fired immediately. You will face Satan's wrath. Cory is too much of a bad boy. The thing about this is it's just not a hot take. Right? I mean, I walked into the house, day one, production started freaking out. They had to put me into the nether region. That's how bad I was. Only after 45 minutes were they able to cool me down. Yeah, that was actually like why Zach and I were not allowed on the race. They said he's going to break too many rules. I'm actually wanted in a myriad of European countries for unspeakable crimes. As Bowie Jane once said, I'm a naughty, 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 naughty boy. Cory's not about to be blacklisted by shit-talking Julie. Yeah, you're right. I've never done that. I would never cross that line. Not allowed in Prague. When Matt Hardiman called you the little white guy on TikTok, yeah. Day later, he had a breakup. Think these things are coincidence? Every tongue that rises against me shall fall. Starting with him. I am a little white boy, though. It's not inaccurate. Not as impressed by Dan's BB14 run as most are. They had the vet advantage, and most of the newbies cast were horrible and unmemorable players. I don't know. I don't think I agree with unmemorable. I think Frank, Ian, and Danielle are all like Big Brother mainstays. You know what I mean? Like they're all like talked about to this day for their impact on the season. I don't think Shane was a terrible player. I think he's overrated. I think here. Okay, I don't know if Meridian Review's still in the chat. If Taryn's in the chat. There's a lot of important policy issues to address. Affordable housing. The growing cost of living in this country. What we need to address first is the overrating of hot athletes in terms of their gameplay. I'm talking Cory Brooks. I'm talking Shane. I'm talking Cam Sullivan-Brown. Just this archetype of like, I'm big and charming and I almost won the game. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like we put these people on a pedestal when the reality is like, they have no idea what they're doing. Are they naturally just a good Big Brother player? Probably. Yeah, Matt Klotz. I think Matt's a bit better than those people, but I do think he was still like overrated in that category. You know what I mean? Anyways. I think Cam's my favorite out of all of them. Cam's cool. But I think Dan, he did have a ridiculous advantage coming in as a vet, basically safe till jury, like essentially safe for like 5-6 weeks. Not till jury because Boogie and Janelle got evicted before then, but he had a huge advantage, but I also think it came back to bite him in the sense of he had no chance of winning the game no matter what he did. So like, I don't hold it against him really. Like every benefit he got from being a vet is the reason he didn't win and the reason he got second, so. AZ said in the diary room how Dan's gaslighting gameplay towards Danielle would not fly as well nowadays, especially if he were a woman, and it stuck with me. Okay, if he were a woman, absolutely. A woman manipulating is viewed in a different way than a man manipulating, and it'd be edited as such. I agree with that. I think if Dan did exactly what he did today with Danielle today, I think it would be fucking celebrated. And maybe that's a double standard, but, like, I disagree with that. I think that would still be the same. You know what I mean? Why is big, strong, good-looking archetype an advantage on BB but a liability on Survivor? Because competitions, challenges are way more important on Big Brother than they are in Survivor. In Survivor, it gets one person immunity in the merge. In Big Brother, it gives you all the power for the week. There's not even like in Big Brother, being a good competitor lets you run the game. In Survivor, it lets you avoid votes for 1 week. Thank you, GP Eastside. I appreciate it. 23 months. So I disagree with this take. Bad take. Seasons would be better if people played in mind of making great TV. On Bravo, all the cast goal is to make the best possible product, and it works pretty good over there. The downside is you have people who think America will love people that are nice and talk loud. I just think the point is, like, housewives are incredibly talented at creating drama.
Another thing, when there's no money on the line, all the housewives are getting paid.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands for just being on the season. You know what I mean? It's not like one person comes out with a paycheck.
I agree. I just think, so first of all, like, there's too much money on the line for people to just throw in the towel and, like, lose on purpose to create drama. And more importantly, people are not actors. When Jimmy tries to create great TV, it looks fake. Same when Ashley tried. Same when Ava tried. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work. You could get an Angela every now and then, or a Tucker who's able to pull it off, but you just can't trust cast to be able to execute this. Some of these people, like Jimmy, were very fun to watch on feeds when they were actually just playing the game and creating drama. You know what I mean? So I disagree with this take vehemently. I think the point is make people who are naturally confrontational and aggressive players. Authenticity is important. I feel like Keanu did it effortlessly. Yeah, Keanu never seemed inauthentic to me. Nicole is not a good winner. She just whined her way to the end. I think her BB18 game is, like, eons better than her other games. I think BB16, she was, like, fine and scrappy and, like, respectable. BB22, I think her game is actually not that impressive. Like, she was playing to lose the whole time, let Cody steer the ship, lost a lot of her critical allies to Cody. And then BB18, she played a much better game, but even there, she planned on taking Cory to the end and losing. So I think Nicole's a very flawed player. She really is like a sum of its parts. Her entire body of work is more impressive than any singular game. But she certainly didn't whine her way to the end of BB18. She played a very active strategic role. She was the first HOH. She was then put on the bottom and then worked her way out and maneuvered that endgame very well. So I think on BB18, Nicole is absolutely a strong winner. On this season of The Amazing Race, most of their relatives are boring, clearly outshined entertainment-wise by their partners, and don't have an interesting enough dynamic with their BB relative to justify their casting. That's not to say they're bad people or won't be fun to hang out with in real life. It's just like they shouldn't be on TV. It was honestly sort of a terrible idea for a season. As far as I understand, people are fine with the season. The Amazing Race fans hate it. I think this is just natural. Like, you cast all-stars, essentially, from reality TV shows who are all theoretically, like, some of the best casting on their original shows, and then you just, like, ask them to bring a +1. Like, no shit, the star is going to outshine their +1. I think that's fine. That's just how it works. Not to mention, like, I think most people on their second appearance on camera come in super confident and with a lot of ideas and with, like, a chip on their shoulder, whereas the other person is, like, nervous, trying to get their footing, doesn't know how to act in front of cameras, especially these cameras where there's, like, a whole crew following you. So I think that's just, like, always going to have been the result. I think there's obviously exceptions to this rule. But in general, I think I disagree with this take. Or I don't even disagree with it. I just don't think it's an issue. And terrible idea for the season. I think you guys have to understand, like, Amazing Race needed this, I think, is my understanding. Like, this was an important thing for them to do, to try to get the show reinvigorated a bit, and we'll see if it succeeds. If only they had teams where, like, both people were on TV before. You know what I mean? That would have been fun. Ratings are big for the season. Yeah, there you go. America is greater than Cory in what context? Because I'll agree with you in a lot of contexts, but not in all of them. BB16 says Derek ruined Big Brother. It's definitely not a hot take. I also just don't think it's true because after BB16, we had 2 banger seasons. BB16 ruined Big Brother. Everything's boring now. Then we got BB17 and 18. Then 19 sucked, and then we got 20. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I think it's like a fun idea. Like, oh, at this point, it just became all big alliances. It's like, well, first of all, that was always kind of the case. And most of the seasons directly following 16 were great. Or at the very least, good. I mean, 17 and 20 were great. 18 was good. So I disagree with this take. BB22 should have been called BB Small Stars. Nah, they casted really well. There was like 1 or 2 questionable choices. Ugh, Christmas. But in general, I was pumped when I saw the All-Stars 2 cast. It just was a bad season. Helen was pushed. I love Helen was pushed as a theory because y'all don't think they wanted a Helen HOH. Y'all think they wanted Aaron? Big Brother 19 was an entertaining season to watch. I like BB19 as a train wreck season more than a lot of other train wreck seasons. Like, I enjoyed BB19 more than, like, BB9. I liked it more than BB13. I like 19 maybe more than 22. You know what I mean? Like, I think 19 has very dynamic characters, even if a lot of them are not likable. James BB67 is the best player of old school BB. Met him, nice guy. I don't think this is a defendable position. I mean, Dr. Will, Danielle are like indisputable. I think Maggie's probably indisputable. Boogie, I think, has to be better than James, even for me. 6'7", nice one. I don't know. I think James is the type of player who, like, he seems like a triple threat, but he's so obviously a triple threat, and he doesn't have the subtlety. Like, he's just going to be a big threat every time, and unless he comps out, he'll be backdoored every single season. Maybe not Carson. James better than Boogie for me? It's debatable. BB15 had decent gameplay, and some people from that season deserve to be brought back. I think everyone agrees it's a good gameplay season. Like, there was more good players on BB15 than a vast majority of seasons. See ya. I don't know how many people should be brought back. I think Andy, seeing him again just to build his resume would be good. Helen would be fun. McCrae I'd be fine with. Like, there's a few. Perhaps. Nice one, Golden. Level 6 was a very fun alliance. It's so funny. Like, okay, here's my question. Why? Because you get Brett and Tyler, but then, like, Angela and Casey are both considered boring. I guess people liked Rachel, but she was gone so early, and Winston, there's, like, nothing about. Like, really, when you say you like level 6, you kind of are saying Tyler, Brett, and JC. You know what I mean? And, like, JC wasn't even in level 6, but for all intents and purposes, he was, you know? So I think that's really a credit to Tyler because he's the one who made it all interesting. But I do think they were a fun alliance in how they operated. Level 6, 7 with JC there. Nice one. I like them compared to Faute. Yeah, me too. Bridget is an underrated character. I think Bridget, this is kind of like the Jackie take. I think Bridget is an overrated, underrated character. But yeah, she was fun. I like Bridget. I was rooting for Bridget. What's wrong with Angela? Angela was just boring. I didn't dislike Angela. I thought she was fine. I did think her revealing to Tyler that she had a Range Rover was pretty embarrassing. I'm going to close responses at the top of the hour at 6, so get in your hot takes before then if you want me to hear them. I don't think Morgan is that much of a strategist as everyone else, just had control over one person. here's the thing. She had control over the most important person, which I think is pretty important. She also was able to work Rachel in a way that other people weren't. And I don't mean like manipulate Rachel into doing her bidding by any means. But like she was able to get in with Rachel at key moments and get her on her side. I just think in general, like the pendulum has swung too far the other way on Morgan. People saying she's one of the best players of all time, best to never win. I don't think that's a correct opinion. Like I think she was an excellent competitor, super persistent strategist, with a solid social game. I think that's who Morgan is. But now everyone acting like she had no strategy, which is like, she wasn't always super tactful, but she was gaming the entire time and got a ton of shit done. And Vince was the most important person in the house to manipulate or persuade, whatever word you want to use. You know what I mean? So I think Morgan, the pendulum swung too far. I think she's too underrated at this point. As long as the returners aren't dominant compists, like Rachel and Suri, a mixed returnee and new player cast is more interesting than all new players and all returnees. I think Big Brother should do it. Just watching BB Can 5 now, like if you cast the right cast of returnees, I think it could just be fun. It won't be fair, because my problem with like returnee mixed seasons is, one, they have an advantage, but more importantly, the show is not able to balance the edit. They never have been able to. It's always just the returnee show. BB Can 5 is the returnee show. And a lot of that is because the game is the returnee's game. They're running everything. So, like, if you're fine with that, that's fine. I just think, like, I wish they were able to strike a better balance and treat returning house guests like returning house guests as opposed to, like, the stars of the show. Yes, we are, Melissa. Is Surya dominating compists? These are examples of the returnees who are not dominating compists, which Rachel was not on 27. They didn't overdo the Rachel edit too much. She got a heavy edit, but she was also so involved. But that's the point. Like, the edit's not even, like, disproportionate often. Like, returning house guests just get so much more involved. Housemates should get over things that happen in the house within reason and remember that it's just a game. No grudges over petty shit or gameplay. I could agree depending on what you mean. I think house guests are well within their rights to hold a grudge if people did personal shit towards them or said personal shit. And more importantly, it's like there's no requirement to be friends with people post-show. All right, closing the form, by the way. How do I do it? All right. So that's one part of it. Ashley being mad at Vince for no reason. Look, I mean, Vince spoke very lowly of Ashley. Pretty consistently. It was all kind of game related, but it didn't feel very game related, you know? So, like, I get her being upset. I don't think that's super unreasonable. I just think you guys have to put in perspective the social media era we live in. Rachel on BB12 and BB13 was kind of like let bygones be bygones, friends with all of her former castmates, friends with Reagan, all that. I think if those seasons happen, Big Brother 28, she has a different reaction, which seems to be the case. You know what I mean? So, like, I just think this is a social media thing where nowadays people are going to hold more grudges because they're going to get more clips sent to them and more quotes and more all of this shit than you would in the past. Ashley acted stupid on purpose, won the game off that strategy, and then got mad that Vince thought she was stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I think Ashley is allowed to be annoyed with Vince. like, you're not obligated to be friends with your cast members. Now, is, like, going on a tirade for months after winning the show what I would advise? Maybe not. But I think, like, in general, I disagree. BB7 is bad. A season where Alice and Diane go out early and the final two somehow worse than the BB25 final two should not be rated top tier. You've pinpointed the two worst parts of the season and left out the gajillion awesome parts of the season. Which is like, They might have the worst final 2 imaginable, but they probably have the best final 3 and 4 of any season of reality TV ever. So I just think this is not a reasonable take. BB7 is at least the second best season of the show. It was an all-star season where like the most entertaining players made it to the end and the gameplay was incredibly dynamic. And yes, it would have been better with a Janelle or a Will win, but that's why it's not the best season of all time. For me, it is. I think most people, season 10. Keanu was a very strategic player. He was just so unaware of what was happening. I agree. I think he's extremely strategically minded. BB19 is an entertaining season. Agree. Okay. Yeah, I agree with these takes. I think Keanu played his heart out. He played super hard, but he was just wrong. The way BB edits the show makes me hate the house guests. Watching the live feeds makes me like them. That's interesting because they definitely try to do the opposite. I think the live feeds make me hate people more, but the show does a poor job of endearing you to house guests because they just don't show enough of the house guests. It's all competitions and ceremonies and strategy and evictions and stuff, you know? June is a top 5 winner. I think it's a dumb opinion. No shade to June. I don't think that's reasonable. I think there's just too many good winners. But June's great. June's good. Probably somewhere between 6 and 12. The BB Blockbuster was great this year. Yeah, it was pretty good till it wasn't. It was good until about the final 10 for me. Thank you. Danielle Reyes is still the best to never win. I think she has a strong argument. For me, Tyler and Paul clear Danielle for the U.S., and I think Vanessa is pretty close. But I think Tyler and Paul are the two I feel confident about. You could say you disagree, instead you say it's dumb. You know, it's all. I'm asking for hot takes. I understand some of them are going to be a little silly. Drama on BB is different because this generation is different. Casting can only do so much. So, let's be very clear. What is the number one reason why past seasons, early seasons, have had so much more drama than recent seasons? What's the answer? Because it's one word. We're not going on until someone says it. Social media? It's not. It's not social media. It's not social media. TJ got it. It's alcohol. The alcohol is the difference. We heard stories from Janelle about how they would get basically blackout drunk the entire season on BB6. And no fucking wonder you're going to get insane levels of drama. Now, the internet's bigger and social media is bigger, so maybe if you want to argue, that's the part where networks don't trust cast members with alcohol for good reason. I don't think that's a crazy thing to not let the house guests get tequila. I get it. But they used to literally have liquor every fucking day. Bottles of wine. They would just get wasted and scream at each other. Obviously, that's going to create more drama than nowadays when it's all sober. And social media plays a part. But, in general, BB27 was an extremely dramatic season with a lot of fights. BB27 was as old school as we've gotten in years. So I think really what it comes down to is no alcohol is number one. Number two is just casting. On BB25, who was going to get in fights? Jared, for sure, could get in the mix. America, if she had anyone to fight with. Me, apparently. They didn't think I was going to get in a fight. It was just a casting philosophy. On 27, they got more, fiery personalities. And then social media. BB7 is the best season of the show. There are seasons with better gameplay. BB7 is entertaining from start to finish. I agree. Christy Murphy needs to play again. She was one of the most entertaining house guests ever. How implicated was Christy in the bad stuff that season? I always forget. I don't know. I mean, I think she was fun. I would not be upset with a Christy return.
She's on TikTok.
She's on TikTok, I hear.
Yeah.
I'd be down for Christy. I mean, she was a mess. BB Can 6 and BB 18 are both extremely underrated and are both easily top 10 seasons. BB 18, I think, has an incredible cast, which I think makes it a very fun season. BB Can 6, not an expert on. I do know the end game pretty well, but I don't have any hot takes on BB Can 6. So, BB 18's good, though. I mean, I think it's like the 10th best season. I don't think it's in the top tier. I don't think it's mid. I think it's like a good season. I think Ava is better at the game than people care to admit. If her, Lauren, and Kelly survived the double, she may have been the favorite to win, and while her justification for not picking Rachel was infuriating, her further explanation of wanting to pick Lauren but not wanting to anger Rachel by doing so and then picking Vince, who would then pick Lauren, makes some level of sense. So I disagree with everything. I think not picking Rachel is fine. I think people always misconstrue what I say about this. I don't think Ava was obligated to pick Rachel. I don't know if Rachel handled it perfectly. There's a lot of that. That's its own conversation. Picking Vince was a crazy decision. Picking Vince is pretty bad because Vince just lets Vince start the steamroll on the other side of the house, and Ashley loses all of her allies. She loses Rachel here, and then she loses Will the next week when Lauren's HOH, her ally. She bungled that really bad. I don't think there is many ways about it. And I think the problem with Ava is she was incredibly passive. There have been more passive players. She's not the worst, but she was really, really passive and no one respected her as a game player. She actually did more than people thought, but the perception was like she did nothing. And the reality, she did very little. I think Ava's not the worst player in Big Brother history. She's socially decent, which is very important. People liked her. I think she struggles a lot with some jury votes against certain people, and I think even more importantly, she has basically no chance of getting to the end. And realistically, her, Lauren, and Kelly don't have much of a chance in those endgame comps with Keanu and Morgan and Vince. Lauren's pretty good, but you can't win HOH 3 times in a row unless you're Chag. So, better at the game than people care to admit? Maybe, but I do not think very highly on Ava's game. Cory is the hottest Big Brother house guest. It's a hot take, certainly. With the glasses, maybe. Taylor Hale's overrated. I think Taylor's pretty appropriately rated by the community. I think she's, idolized and people view her game about how it was. Jared was a fairly good player the first 1 to 2 weeks of BB25. Sure. I think he played pretty terribly week 2. Week 2, he almost won HOH and put up Jag and Riley. He got lucky that he avoided that. Then he gets sent to the nether region because of it. And then is lying to everyone, saying that Heisem tricked him, that he's not targeting Riley, and I think he had a good first week, I think is a good way of summarizing Jared's game. But also, he got off the block all by his own merit. I'll give him that. I think that was Jared's best move of the season. Was getting off the block week 1 immediately. So shout outs to Jared for that. I miss cameos. Are they coming back soon? America and I will talk about it. Will Mega was so screwed over by the edit on BB1. America couldn't handle how real he was. Wait till my BB1 stream. Dr. Will's low-key annoying. His arrogance feels performative. Yeah, it is performative, but, I think he's good at performing it. I thought he was fun on Dondi. BB25 is one of the worst seasons, hot take or not. I mean, it's just objectively not one of the worst. I think it's clear as bottom 5 easily. I think most people view it as somewhere between 15 and 20, which I think is about appropriate. I would have it a little bit higher, but Steve is an underrated winner. I think he's again rated pretty well. I think by casuals he's definitely underrated. People would think Ian's a much better player, but I think Steve's, the 13th best winner or something. He's just right in the middle. Holly should have won 21. Her game's underrated, and she was overshadowed because of comp wins. I think Jackson's a better player than Holly, to be honest. And I think they're both bad. Like, I don't think Holly's great. I just think Holly didn't have anyone's respect, got into showmance with a terrible person, and then was saved by that terrible person, and then got destroyed in a jury vote by that terrible person. I think Holly's a tremendously overrated player. I think Jackson is too. I think people are coming around to how flawed his game was, but like for me, like obviously what Jackson did is Jackson saying all the shit he said is worse than Holly being in a showmance with him. But I don't respect Holly for being in a showmance with him. Like it's not a good look for me. I don't know. Please bring back the podcast. Probably not. Well, it'll come back in different forms through different like things we do, but just us sitting talking to the camera, I don't think that's healthy. Shima did nothing wrong. I don't know. Look, here's the thing. I think what Shima did is very funny, but like Jessie being eliminated didn't end her season. She still could have done something, Maybe that's a hot take. Shima shouldn't have given up. But yeah, no, I feel it. Quinn is hot. I mean, you've seen his fits. Come on. That's not a hot take. I think Ashley played a very similar game to America. Was a target constantly, but uses social maneuvering to get herself into a power position. Plus, she also had incredible strategic reads. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I do think they're both very strategic players who played very similarly. How do you feel about being compared to Ashley?
I can't. No, let's not get into it.
I think they both are similar in the sense of people thought they had good reads. I think in terms of like strategic maneuvering, America was on the bottom longer than Ashley. I think America had to be much more scrappy, whereas Ashley had a really rough start and then kind of stabilized. I just think social maneuvers doesn't really mean anything. Like, what do you mean social? Like, I just think like both of them probably had more strategic maneuvers than social ones. America did not flip her position in the house by like socially ingratiating with Mimi, Bowie, and Matt. That was a huge part of it. But like she had a lot of information, dropped it on people, was a big part of getting me to flip. Like I think her strategy is really what flipped her position. And I think the same could be said for Ashley. I think they are much better strategic players than social players. Obviously, America's weird because, like, BB25, socially, she didn't stand a chance with just the people in the house. But I think, like, there's more to prop her up strategically than socially, if that makes sense. And let's be real, Ashley got a better setup. Like, I think it was a tough draw, BB25, with those competitions. It was kind of impossible to do anything. Lauren, BB27, is boring as fuck. It's kind of rude. I don't know. I think Lauren's fine. I thought she was a fun force in the game in terms of, like, where she stood and, like, how she affected other people's relationships. But I think as a character, she's just, like, a nice, normal person. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say boring as fuck, though. Big Brother 13 is an amazing season from an entertainment perspective, considering it a bottom-tier season is anti-feminist. I don't think it's an amazing season. Maybe I am anti-feminist. I don't know. I just think, like, it's hard when the vets are given such an advantage, and then it manifests in one of the vets winning in, like, the second most controversial way ever. I just think it, like, takes away the satisfaction of a Rachel win that, would have been there. I think the drama was somewhat interesting, but, like, putting people in pairs, like, there's just a lot to not like in the season and a lot of boring weeks. It's a vet steamroll for a long time. And then I think there's a lot of not very captivating newbies, Portia, Adam, like, who make it very far. I just don't know. This is my favorite Rachel season ever. Me too. I thought she was awesome. AmeriCorey is the best showmance in BB history. Thank you. Get rid of Slop and the Have Not Room. Low key, I don't have a problem with them keeping it. Like, I just don't care. Like, it doesn't affect my viewing experience. When I'm watching, I have, like, no idea who's on Slop, who's a Have Not. It sucks as a house guest, but I'm not going to be a house guest again. Like, most of us are not going to be house... Like, it just doesn't matter. But, you know, if I could just hit a button and keep them or get rid of them, I'd probably get rid of them. Make it just another room to talk. You shouldn't have flipped on Izzy. You flipped the house on Izzy. I'd like to see your messages at the time. BB14 has painfully boring newbie cast and is an overrated season. I think it is an overrated season that is propped up by, like, two of the best moments in Big Brother history. The funeral and the Final Four eviction. But, like, the pre-jury is pretty rough. And then there's a lot of boring jury weeks. So I agree. I think it's overrated. I still think it's top 5, but I think it's probably, like, number 5. Big Brother should allow board games. This is the worst take of the day. They would just play Monopoly all day, y'all. This would be terrible. This would be so bad. Stop the stupid twists. Not a hot take. The end format of BB27 is the best end format, and moving forward, all end games should similarly be shortened. Okay, so you don't mean the blockbuster. You just mean, like, speeding up the final 5. I agree. I think the end game should be truncated. Get through it quicker, shortened weeks. It's just hard because of the TV schedule. But if they could figure that out, I think there's no reason for the final 5 to be a full week, final 6 to be a full week. There's just no point. Dr. Will's a better player than Dan. He was only one mistake away from being a 2-time winner. Dan was never winning BB14 with the game he played. I think this debate comes down to whether you think Dan had a chance in BB14. I think considering the cards he was dealt and that newbie cast, I think he played fucking excellently. I think he played great. And Dr. Will's Season 2 game, I think, has more of an asterisk than Dan's BB14 game. Just because it was BB2. It's not Will's fault. Also, Dan's first game was better than Will's second game. Or Will's first game. Like, we've already talked about this. I disagree. But Will's pretty good. he's a decent player. I don't care at all about the shoutouts. It doesn't bother me at all. Let people talk to their families and friends as long as they're not being over the top annoying or putting way more focus on the shoutouts than the votes. Also, sometimes we get drama like Vince talking to Kelsey. I feel like it can be one of the most human parts of eviction nights. America would love this take.
Yes, I do.
America has almost made TikToks about this. Look, I think it's pretty clear when shoutouts are annoying. I think you should know how to do them. So, like, hey, Cory. Hi, Julie. I vote to evict America. Thank you. Shoutouts, Mom. A lot of times people go, I vote to evict America. Shoutouts, Mom. I love you so much. Like, talking over Julie. Just know the etiquette, and it's not that bad. Don't go too crazy. It's fine. Most Survivor castmates should get cast on Big Brother, but most Big Brother house guests should not get cast on Survivor. I disagree. I think if you did, like, modern-day Survivor casting for Big Brother, every season would be incredibly boring because players would play too carefully and optimally. You need stupid people on Big Brother. If you cast, like, superfan nerds throughout the entire cast, I think you'd have a lot of more boring gameplay. Big Brother needs people who are fans of the show who are different. I think Survivor, like, with their emphasis on positivity and uplifting and good vibes, that does not work on Big Brother. I'm down to have superfans, I'm down to have strategists, but we need to have some bad vibes. Or at least some negative, cynical vibes. And it's a lot easier to get on Survivor than Big Brother, to be fair. Just mathematically. Mince needs to happen ASAP. I think they should just both try to be happy. Daniel Durston should be blacklisted. I think he is. Bring back a Hinky vote era. I hate Hinky votes. I don't, like, hate people doing them, but I just hate how people care about them. Like, if I was in the house and it was 12-1 and people were talking about a Hinky vote, I'd be like, guys, who fucking cares? Whoever made this Hinky vote wants chaos. Let's just focus on the task at hand. Also, I would always be blamed for the Hinky vote. Or more likely, America would. So, I don't want to do that. Except 22 and 17, the seasons that is an even number are likely to be a better season that are more interesting when you look at. It's a crazy take. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you're saying even numbers are better seasons than odd numbers. You're leaving out Big Brother 3, 7, 17, 27. I think this is one of the worst opinions. I think there's more good seasons that are even than odd. I'll give you that. But I think it's pretty split. I see the vision. Okay. Like, I think all the seasons are pretty good. I think 12 is a mixed bag. 16's a mixed bag. 24 is a mixed bag. 26 is a mixed bag. I think even number seasons have less duds. I think most of the terrible seasons are odd numbers. I'll give you that. Love the glasses. Thank you. All players should play in the veto competition. It's the worst idea of all time. You're just asking for comp beasts to get 97 veto wins. And the whole goal of the veto is to, like, raise the chances of the veto being used. The correct opinion is HOH can't play in the veto. Einstein smarter than Tyson? I agree. The best way to do returnees is coaches? I disagree. I think the coaches twist was terrible. But it worked out in spite of the twist because of Dan. In 5 years, the majority of the fandom will agree that BB27 is a top-tier season, same level as BB17. I think we're already there. I think people love BB27. I think during the season, there's always Debbie Downers. But I think at this stage, most people have it as the best season of the new era with a couple BB26 defenders and like a few BB24 defenders. But I think most people prefer BB27. I think they should do another duo season. I disagree. I think duos is pretty bad. It just simplifies the game a lot. There's so many pre-existing relationships, people who won't betray each other. It simplifies nominations because you have to put duos up next to each other. It's also not fair the way they did it in 13, where like I would be partnered with America, then you'd have two newbies who are partnered arbitrarily with each other, and that would be kind of like they have no working relationship, so they're easier to split up and manipulate. You know what I mean? I prefer 26. You guys know my thoughts on 26. Bring back food comps. I disagree. No more competitions on my screen, please. Get rid of have-nots entirely and do food comps for the whole house every week and stop. It's boring. Guys, we don't want to waste time on food comps. Most of them are boring. You're like thinking of the one or two that were fun. I kind of don't understand the Cory hype. Bro got 7th place. Rubina clears him on any season easily. I feel like 85% certain this is Mike. This feels like Mike, right? Getting the placement wrong, randomly saying Rubina. I think this is Mike. I feel like if they did All-Stars 3, it'd be a flop like 22. Boring pregame steamroll incoming for a second time. I think they could cast a good cast that would be dynamic for All-Stars 3. I think it would be important for Jesse Tannenbaum to consult me so I can lay out the landscape of the alum to make sure we don't get too much from one click. But outside of that, like, if they have any pulse on the alumni community, I think they actually could muster up a good, interesting cast. But I don't think they would do that. Cory should take off his shirt. America, get out of my replies. Jury votes are more about who they respect than who they like. I think so at this point. But if it's close, who they like is a good tiebreaker. But I think if you respect someone more than the other person, you're more likely to vote for them. Some people are like, I don't give a shit about respect. I'm just going to vote for my friend. That's also a thing. Many of Ashley's claims that certain things she did in the house were game moves, saying she purposely did not clean, were not retroactive. Yeah, that I will never believe that. She could say it 5 inches in front of me and I wouldn't believe her. I think a lot of her game was intentional. I think the Elle Woods big picture was intentional. I just think like the everyday interactions and personality quirks were not, and that's fine because I found her extremely likable and fun to watch on the feeds. I think the idea that she was faking those things is crazy, especially when she comes out of the house and like is kind of the same, which again is good because she's fun and entertaining and says some shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like it feels like an insult. She's not pretending to be dumb. She just is dumb. It's like, no, Her behavior in the house wasn't dumb. It was just who she is, which is like a little bit airheady, but also very smart and capable. And now she's still that. You know what I mean? So I think there is a bit of rewriting history, a little bit. But I'm scared because now people are going to send this to her, you know. So people who watch live feeds are loser dorks, and that's the only reason they get cast. This is a Jared Quinn joke, I think, which is funny. BB27 is the second best New Era season after 27. It's my second favorite. I think 27 is my favorite than 25. But I think it's hard to argue 25 is better than 24. I like all the reasons I like 25. I think 24 just does a little bit better. I think 25 is a better cast than 24. But like 24 doesn't fall off a cliff in the way 25 does, right? We're not doing a hating on Ashley session in the chat, by the way. Just so we're clear. I like Ashley. I just think BB25 was very disheartening to watch, and it was just a steamroll in the second half that was very boring. Vince is the most compelling house guest in BB history. He's up there. Certainly up there. Definitely most compelling in recent memory. Vince is the greatest character of the new era. Greatest character of the new era. I mean, Angela's in there. Taylor's in there. Yeah, I mean, I think Vince is definitely has a great argument for it. Tucker, not for me, but I get it. Did you tell Cameron about your eviction speech in jury? He saw it. You see the eviction speeches. He thought it was funny. I wouldn't have done it if I thought Cam would be mad at me. Like, mentioning someone's daughter in, like, a negative, vitriolic way would not be the vibe. But I knew Cameron would be fine. Cameron likes that. Harry Potter, better than Star Trek? I've never seen Star Trek. And I do like Harry Potter. Fuck J.K. Rowling, though. Obligatory. Big Brother fans cannot handle a true old school villain, but the casuals and a lot of hardcore fans would flip. It's like people crying for old school NBA physicality, but then crash out over their face getting elbowed. I think this is like discussed a lot, and like, sure, I agree. I think what people forget is these old school villains were hated in their time. Rachel was hated in BB12. Allison was hated on BB4. Evil Dick was not even a villain. He was the hero of the season, basically. Mr. Spectacular was hated. You know what I mean? So, like, the viewers could never handle them. There just wasn't social media, so it wasn't so, obvious that people hated these people. You know what I mean? Or at least we don't remember it because it wasn't as much discussion happening online, or we were young. I have not seen Jaylen Brown's hairpin. I think he's a bad player, though. He's not bad. I think he's overrated quite a bit. Like, the he's better than Tatum stuff from years ago. Are you kidding me? Giving him that finals MVP was a joke. I'm not sure if a game like Tyler BB20 works with the AI arena. I feel like it discourages majority alliances and makes it harder to play both sides of the house. I don't think so. I think you could still play both sides. I think Vince did it. I think, like, Vince did it in a much worse way, in a much less winning way. But I still think it's possible to play all sides. I think it's more important than ever to play all sides because of how many nominees there are. And, like, majority alliances haven't existed in the past few seasons. I just think because there hasn't been that one capable player who can make one. You know what I mean? Like, every season with a massive majority has someone driving it. P16, it was Devin who wanted the alliance. Then Derek took charge. We all know what happened in 17. 18, that was Pauly, to be honest. Like, on 25 was the last time it happened, and it was Suri. 26, who the fuck was going to take charge? And 27, who the fuck was going to take charge? Take on Austin Reeves. I think he's very, very good. He's a foul grifter, but it's the league. I think he's very, very good, and I think people underrate his defense. It's just that he's next to Luka, so it looks bad. Like, they're not a good defensive backcourt. But I think Austin Reeves is good. Like, I think he's going to get paid $35-40 million on his next contract. Story-wise, Christy is the hero of BB21, not Nicole. Story-wise, I think it's Nicole. Story-wise, I think it's Cliff, but that's a story for another day. BB20's jury ruined Big Brother. What do you guys mean ruined? I don't know what you mean. I don't think BB20 is ruined. I think Big Brother is okay. I think Big Brother 23 through 7 has been like the best era of Big Brother since Big Brother 2 through 7 in terms of just consistently good seasons. People say 25 is the worst, and 25 was like mid. 23, a lot of people don't like, and 23 people liked at the time. 26, I don't like it, and even I think 26 is pretty good. Like, I think the new era of Big Brother has been very good. Big Brother should allow board game tournaments as side storylines. This is actually even worse than the other take I read about this. We did a bumper pool tournament and then never finished it because we had too much game to talk. But BB26, oh my god. It'd be like quadruple elimination checkers. It'd be miserable. Life of a Showgirl is Taylor Swift's worst album. Sorry, not sorry. Don't say that to America. This has started America's Swiftie era. She likes when she says all like the text lingo. What does she say? What are the cringe lines?
What are you talking about?
Doesn't Taylor Swift have some like super embarrassing lines in Life of a Showgirl? That like Travis Kelce probably says. She doesn't want to get the Swiftie hate. I understand. It's a good call.
Yeah, I'm like, don't drag me into this.
Literally, fuck off.
Anonymous, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate you to keep the beast. What's up, Keith? I appreciate the gift. Hope you're doing well, Anonymous. Fans way overemphasize the importance of intentional jury management. 70% of whether someone will get the vote to the end is just how much random groups of people innately respect that person, and maybe 30% is actual gameplay / comps. Ding, ding, ding. We have an amazing opinion. This is my favorite hot take of the day. Jury management is overstated. Not that important. Actually, not that important. I think jury management is massively overstated. Evil Dick's jury management, ass. Almost won unanimously. Jags jury management, ass. 5-2 win. Chelsea's jury management, still won. Ashley's jury management, very good. She won the game. It's like you should do it because it matters, but there's so much that goes into a juror's vote that the players have no influence over. Not just what happens in the jury house, but just how the juror is, how they feel, you know? So I totally agree. BB27 was a phenomenal season, but the house guests were painfully unfunny, and that's a mark against it. Ooh.
What season?
27. Were the house guests unfunny? I think Ashley was funny, Will was funny.
But not... No, I would say Ava had funny moments at the beginning.
Ava had funny moments. Vince was funny in how he existed. But I think Will...
People weren't jokesters like that.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like late night hee ha ha sessions. Like there were on previous seasons. I don't think the 26 cast was super funny either. I think it was basically Cam doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Shout out to Lisa. Season 24 did not have an intro because one of the cast members was removed within less than 24 hours before the season premiered. I disagree. I think they could have figured it out. They could have pulled someone from the house for 5 seconds to make an intro if they wanted to. Who would it have been? Who's the alternate on 24? Joseph?
Yeah.
They could have had Joseph. No, I'm sure they have the alternates film intros.
Yeah.
They probably... Yeah, I'm sure they have the alternates come in. Like when we all go to the green screen room, I'm sure they go too. The show will never recover from the introduction and overuse of the BB blockbuster. Y'all are so dramatic. We just had a great season. And yeah, we all agree with the problems with the blockbuster, but we just had a good season with the blockbuster going on way too long. So, I disagree. Ashley's game and her resume has been inflated postseason in a way I've never seen for another winner. She's a good player, but people want to compare her to Dr. Will, when I don't think she's even cracked top 10 winners. I think people comparing her to Dr. Will are saying she's top 10. Like, that's just not... that's a I've only seen 10 seasons of the show kind of opinion. but I think like her game is perpetually overrated and underrated. Good, under the radar player who had a good strategic head and her shoulders, won a really important comp, good jury management. You know, like she's a good winner. But yeah, I mean, if you're putting her in the top 10, you're overrating her, and if you're saying she did nothing, you're underrating her. So the comparison to Dr. Will is just not winning a ton of comps. I don't know. I just still think like there's other people you can compare her to. They should put a cat in the house, but then the week one twist is that it's the first HOH. The nominees are determined by whose photo the cat goes to first, and the comp should be playable by the cat. Would be an awesome twist. This is a very Zach Wurtenberger shitpost. Have you guys read Zach's shitpost about what if they put a chimpanzee on Survivor? And he has like a paragraph break, and he's like, you'd all be underestimating the chimpanzee's secret weapon. Fire tokens. It was before he was even on Survivor. But this is definitely a shit post. Okay, and I think we're done. These are the takes we already read. Not one troll take. Appreciate you guys. All right. So we got through some hot takes. There's some good ones, some bad ones. I'm pretty satisfied. Big picture. Good job, y'all. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out. A fun stream, a fun Widow stream. Next stream, we're reviewing Pokemon cards. I want you guys to make them. Okay? Mike has the link pinned. Just one more time, I'll show my references. I'll show my America card. Make sure it's in the vibe of a Pokemon card. You know, you see all male players are immobilized for 2 to 3 turns. You know, it's like a card game. If you're not an expert, it's fine. And if you want to just make them during the stream, that's fine too. It literally takes 5 seconds. I'm going to have to figure out a way to like create a Google Drive or a Dropbox or something. Do we have a deadline? Not really. I don't know. I'll probably stream in like 3 days. So you got some time. I'll stream Saturday. Okay, that'll be my commitment. I'll stream Saturday. Got it? And I think America's going to do a Halloween live is the plan. America said you're streaming on Halloween. I think she means doing it live, probably, like we did last year. Would be my suspicion. My suspicion. Okay. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Is Quinn live? Is any of the friends live? Are you guys dressing up? Always. Keanu? Holy fuck, Keanu's been streaming for 2 hours. What's his user? Thank you, Mike. All right, tell Keanu I say hi. Let's get at least 100 people rating him so I'm not embarrassed. Oh, 114. We're going viral. All right, tell Keanu I say hi. Bye, y'all.